that elongated, that integral symbol. Next, let's look at a definite integral. So we also start with \int, that's the command for integral, but this time we need to show that we want to take the integral from a to b. Now I can simply use an underscore and type a caret b. Let me close math mode and see what that looks like. Okay. So that gives me the short integral, but it is going from a to b, and my lower limit and upper limit of integration appear to the right of the integral symbol. We can also use \int with the \limits command, underscore a caret b. And now we have an integral where the a and the b are not to the right of the integral symbol, but they're above and below the symbol. So you can decide which one of those you prefer. If you want the integral symbol elongated, simply wrap it with display style. I'm going to just copy those last two commands, and we'll see what they look with display style in front. Okay, so we get longer integrals, which sometimes looks nicer. Let's continue working with our definite integral to talk about some problems you may encounter along the way. If one of your limits is more than one character, then just using the caret is not going to be sufficient. So for example, let's say for some reason you wanted to go from 2a to b. Let's see what happens when we compile this. That's probably not what you were expecting to see. So what we're going to do to fix this is after the underscore, the lower limit, you want to wrap that in braces, curly brackets. And then we can do the same for the upper limit. Now if it's just a single character, it's not going to be a problem. But if you have more than one character, you will need to do that. So just to be on the safe side, you can always use the curly brackets, and you shouldn't run into any trouble there. So now we have our integral with the lower limit of 2a and the upper limit of b. Let's go back to just a and b. I'm going to keep the braces. Okay, now I'm moving my cursor in front of the last curly bracket because that goes with the display style command. So let's take the integral of something. Let's take the integral of x squared dx. And remember, I want to insert a space. Just typing a space is not going to insert a space when I compile this. So I'm going to use \comma dx. And we'll compile that and make sure it looks good. So we have the integral of x squared dx from a to b. And that is equal to, now there are a couple different notations you might see for evaluating a definite integral. I usually use the square brackets around the expression. So I'm going to type the square bracket for the left side. When we integrate this, the antiderivative for x squared is x cubed over 3. So I could write 1/3 x cubed. I'm just going to go ahead and write x cubed over 3. So I want the fraction x cubed over 3. Because this is a definite integral, we need to input our lower limit and upper limit. So let me end with a square bracket, and then to get my limits on there, I'm going to use the underscore and then lower limit of a caret upper limit of b. So again, if it's a single character, you don't have to wrap it with the curly brackets, but to be on the safe side, we can go ahead and do that, just so you're familiar with the notation. Okay, now let's see what that looks like. Because I have a fraction, I have a feeling I'm not going to be happy with the brackets. Okay, so the lower limit and upper limit do appear in the correct place in relation to the bracket, but the bracket needs to be expanded to the height of the fraction. So I'm going to go back where I typed my opening square bracket, and in front of that backslash left. Where I typed my closing square bracket, in front of that I type backslash right. And we'll compile that, and that looks much better. And let's go ahead and finish evaluating our integral here. So that is equal to backslash fraction b cubed in the numerator over 3 in the denominator, and I need to move my cursor to the right so that I'm outside of that first fraction. And now it's minus, and we plug in our lower limit of a, so I need another fraction, backslash frac. Our numerator is a to the power 3, denominator 3. Let's compile that. The next thing we're going to look at